On this channel, we document how black criminality is wildly out of proportion, and we show how time and time again black criminals are put back out on the street because the people in charge putting them in jail believe that black criminals are really the victims of white racism. And anybody who knows that or sees that, they are the true offenders. So so in places like Washington, Camden, Wilmington, Philly, Boston, New York, all over the country, the predators are the victims and the victims are the predators. We saw this just a few months ago when we talked about this story in Washington, D.C., where they have a law for so-called second chance young criminals, which is basically you arrest a black person, put him in jail, have the judge pat you on the head, you're back out on the street robbing, killing, raping, murdering. That's what this story found from the Washington Post. Underneath all this is a real hostility towards white people, towards Asian people. Sometimes it's black on white. Sometimes it takes a different form, but it's always expressed in the form that white people, and in this case conservative people, are somehow criminal, or somehow at fault, or somehow the perpetrators, or somehow the ones causing all this black criminality. Think I'm making this up? Give this story a listen.
At 11, a group tasked with resolving labor disputes here in the district is now dealing with some pretty fiery allegations themselves.
Yeah, the former leader of D.C.'s Public Employee Relations Board says it is overrun with discriminatory practices so heinous he had to step down. Our Ken Molestina explains why the accusations have rocked the PERB.
The Public Employee Relations Board of the district, or PERB's, mission is to resolve all and any labor disputes within the district's public agencies. Departments like police, fire, and public works are just some of them. Now, two members of that board, Don Wasserman and Ann Hoffman, are taking heat from PERB's former executive director, Andre Harris.
I told the board what they were doing is illegal, unconstitutional.
Harris claims last year Wasserman and Hoffman ordered him to stop hiring people who maintained conservative political affiliations. Furthermore, he claims the pair instructed him to not hire any more white employees.
That's the angriest I've ever been in my life. I actually slammed my hand down on the table, stood up, and got ready to walk out of the room.
He finally ended up resigning from his position last month.
Harris says now that his allegations are out in the open, he's hoping Mayor Gray and his administration properly look into the claim. According to him, there are still employees within PERB that feel the same way, but fear retaliation if they speak up.
The ultimate goal is to offer protection to these employees who are still there.
We tried contacting Wasserman and Hoffman, as well as others at PERB, but never heard back. A spokesman for Mayor Gray did reply with a statement that read in part, quote, "We have urged the chair of the PERB to review the allegations, and if found credible, they should be forwarded to the Board of Ethics and Government Accountability and the Office of Human Rights."
People shouldn't have to live in fear of their political affiliations or having them exposed, at the risk of losing their job.
Okay, sometimes it's necessary to state the obvious. These are the people who run our nation's capital. They are elected by the people who work for our federal government. So if you live in D.C., a company town, you are down with the cause, or you will find a job in another town in another company. And the biggest cause there is in D.C. is black people who commit crimes are really victims of white racism. That's why we can't hire any more white people, because all they do is go around forcing black people to commit crime. We can't hire any conservatives because Lord knows they're the worst kind of white people of all. Because they're always going around trying to make the black kids angry.